This week has been something else, players. Not only have we gotten the premiere of The Penguin starring the amazing Colin Farrell and the superb Kristen Milioti, it has been confirmed that the Batman 2 script is officially finished and filming will begin early next year. What's that, beautiful players? You're craving some dessert to go with that full-ass meal? Well, how's this for some dessert? Apparently, Matt Reeves said in this article that the Arkham series is actually still apparently happening, only that it has evolved. What an amazing time to be a Batman fan, and just an amazing time to be a DC fan in general. But this past Thursday, we got the premiere of the spin-off 8-episode miniseries from the Batman universe, taking place 1 week after the events of that movie. After the Riddler killed Falcone, there is a serious power vacuum left in Gotham that the Penguin seems intent on filling, and the show serves as our window into the rise of Oz. No corn on the cob to the triumphant Penguin from the comics. After watching episode 1 this past Thursday, I gotta say, this is really damn good. It's great. Seriously, I knew to expect a level of quality from an HBO show and a Reeves-verse project, but this is maybe even exceeding those expectations. So again, there is a vacuum that is left in Gotham after the events of the Batman in terms of crime, which Oz intends to fill, but after a less than pleasant interaction with Alberto Falcone, the son of Carmine, who's unsure if he can really fill those shoes or not, things take a drastic turn for the worst after Oz kinda opens up sincerely about wanting to almost be adored by people and be a hero of sorts, but because Alberto committed the ultimate sin of, well, calling a grown man with a huge scar across his face a little bitch, then also on top of that, the ultimate sin towards the Penguin, laughing at him, which you don't want to do to the Penguin, he opens up in a different way, we'll say. Already there is so much good because as Alberto catches Oz in his father's suite, ransacking it, you see his quickness in how Oz changes the perspective of the entire situation. From him stealing to bring to Alberto, you see immediately how clever and manipulative he is. Honestly, this is such tight and precise character work within just the first 10 minutes of the show. I think they've truly encapsulated who the Penguin is as a character, but the part that exceeds my expectations is the remaining 50 minutes of the show, which is pure punctuation on all of what we just saw. Besides the healthy amount of tension and buildup, you also have the comedy of Oz realizing what he's just done. So the remainder of the episode is him kind of just rolling with this impulsive decision he just seemed to have made, unless this might have been in his plan all along and he's even more clever than I'm giving him credit for. Now he has to hide the body and has a little reverse Robin moment with Victor Aguilar, who is not Victor Stone or Victor Freeze, believe it or not, but he catches him and his friends trying to steal his ribs, and so then forces the kid to help him move the body. Again, another way to show how quick this man is to adjust any situation and make it benefit him. And Victor is kind of the way we get to the extra layers of Oz, where we can see some humanity from this character in bouncing off of Vic, in, you know, sparing his life, or even just speaking on like the slush puppies, some humor. You know, that Pickles line was great, and some of what he was mentioning from the first 10 minutes spill over into reality. You can't quite put your finger on if Oz is being actually endeared by Vic and wants to be his Rex Calabrese, or if he really is the ice cold character we've known from the comics and Vic ain't making it past this season. So we get to the second act where we get to see Oz at work and him and Vic heading to the Falcone estate to talk business, which is not going the way Oz wants, as the family wants to flee their territory due to the damage to the product they've incurred with the Riddler flooding Gotham and then the increased police presence. But Oz knows this is a bad move, so he mentions he'd oversee the shipment that he found out when exactly was coming through from Alberto's phone, which will revolutionize the drug game supposedly. Unfortunately, that's when Kristen Milioti's Sophia Falcone enters the frame and overhears this whole ordeal, and she is intent on finding her brother Alberto, but also on why Oz was taking credit for her brother's plan. She invites Oz to dinner, which you don't just get invited out by a baddie like this unless you're getting set up, okay? And Kristen Milioti is absolutely incredible here because her and Colin Farrell are seriously going band for band with these performances. Like, she has this stare where you can feel she is just looking into your soul and is phasing through all the bullshit that is thrown at her and rummaging around for the truth that you're keeping from her. And she turns it on and off in a moment's notice. That being opposed by Oz's silver tongue and ability to slither through the end of an otherwise compromising conversation. That is seemingly, though, as Sophia gives him the death eyes at the end of their meal, showing the pure extent by which she means to find out where her brother is and that Oz is still in her sights. Seriously, such incredible dance partners. Oz visits his mother to try and get her away from the city for her own safety, and we get even more insight into the man with pictures of his siblings and family. Then with Oz finding out his mother is most likely schizophrenic, and we can tell where Oz gets his confidence and his no bullshit attitude from in the comics, and specifically one I'd recommend, Penguin, Pain and Prejudice. It's a 5-issue miniseries from 2011 by Greg Hurwitz and Szymon Kudranski. Incredible story about the Penguin's cold childhood filled with constant beratement by the world around him due to his appearance and stature. The only light in his life at that time was his mother, who thought of Oswald as this special and beautiful person and child. I won't spoil it, but the ending is just so good. Please get to that. Deidre O'Connell did an amazing job being Oz's mother, which is essentially his enabler. You know, she encourages these behaviors he knows are bad or is even unsure of, and then she flips them into being good, which gives him the confidence to continue on with them, which ultimately gives him the confidence he needs to follow through with his plan to fill the vacuum left in Gotham and take over the drug game from both of the families. But the episode culminates in, after a bit of a chase upon Sophia's request, Oz is captured and they got him bare-assed on a lawn chair, shrimped out probably with a gun in his mouth, getting interrogated by Sophia about the whereabouts of Alberto, recounting the days she spent at Arkham Asylum. You know, just those eyes are hypnotizing, you know, the intensity. You can tell that everything she's saying is probably something Carmine repeated to her often growing up, trying to wring the truth out of Oz about her brother's whereabouts, even setting the trap of trying to get him to admit that she is crazy, which is always a trap, players remember. That's when Mr. Aguilar comes through clutch by sending Alberto's body crashing into the place with the ring finger cut off and Payback scratched into the trunk. With Oz giving Sal his ring back, he's effectively setting up the Maroni and Falcone families for war, where if it goes according to plan, they take each other out of the equation so Oz can take the shipment for himself and then take over Gotham. And what better way to cap off the first episode than with a slush puppy and some Dolly Parton? I can't think of a better one personally. So honestly, I was not expecting myself to like this show more than I actually did. I don't want to sound too premature with this, but I might even like this show more than I like the Batman, okay? I have to find some time to rewatch the Batman now to confirm that though, but you seriously have such tight writing from Lauren LeFranc and crew. I feel like because of how grounded the Reeves verse is, which is totally fine, and I'm so happy. Like, I'm not gonna be one of these people complaining about it not being fantastical anymore because we have the DCU Batman coming through, so I'm all chill with this. But we started with peeling off the frill of like this short, long-nosed wasp character, and we took what was underneath that and just moved it towards the surface. And so it has me eager to see what else we might find if the show intends to look even deeper at this character. Craig Zobel did an amazing job directing. There's this shot I really love of Oz and Vic getting on the train, and there's a handicap seat available for Oz that he can clearly see, but he doesn't take it. So much good showing and not telling, but also the telling is pretty great too. A lot of the atmosphere from the Batman carried over and the tone was excellent. It feels like you have several outstanding parts working together on one thing, which makes for something even greater than the sum of its already really good parts. You got aura, great performances, complex, compelling characters, and character work, surprising amount of humor, and dare I say, some decent action. Totally didn't see this hit coming. I wanted to be very conservative and give this show a fluctuating 8 to 8.5 out of 10, because again, we still have 7 more episodes to go. So even though we have a good beginning, you know, we still need to see if the middle and the end will be on par, because shows have failed me in the past. Truthfully, the more I watch this episode, the better it becomes. So I gotta give the Penguin, as of right now, a solid 8.5 out of 10, with potential to fluctuate to 9 or actually be a solid 9, depending on how they continue to follow up on this. But as of now, I am super invested and I can't wait for episode 2 next Sunday. As far as reading recommendations go with The Long Halloween and Dark Victory, as those are Sophia Falcone's only outings in the comics, at least that I can recall. If you wanted to get more insight on that character, you totally can, although it's not necessary. As well, Penguin Triumphant from 1992 by John Ostrander, and even Batman Volume 2, issue 23.3 from 2013 by Frank Terry. These are really good outings to understand the Penguin's motivations as a character, his psyche, and just how ruthless he can be. But yeah, that's pretty much it, players. Let me know what you thought about episode 1 if you've already seen it, and if you have any predictions, feel free to share. I'm all ears. That's it. If you liked the video, leave me a thumbs up, comment down below, and if you want, subscribe. I always appreciate it. Thank you guys so much for watching. I hope all of you guys are well, and I will see you in the next one.